everybody, welcome to another episode of DeLorean Tech, and today we're going to review the iDisplayIt acrylic display case for the 1/6 scale Hot Toys DeLorean. So I've always wanted to display this in a really nice way. I think this case definitely works. It was really easy to put together, and in this video we'll go ahead and show you how to unbox it, how to assemble it. Then we'll go ahead and do an unboxing video of the time machine itself and set the whole thing up. Now the good thing about this display case is you can actually use this to also display your Hot Toys Back to the Future 1/6 scale figures as well, along with the DeLorean. Now the big question is this display case going to be able to house the upcoming Back to the Future Part 2 time machine, which as you know is in hover mode? That remains to be seen. We're going to go ahead and discuss that a little bit in this video. The Back to the Future Part 2 car should be coming out any month now, so we'll do a Part 2 after this one. Once we get that unboxed, we'll go ahead and see if this works. iDisplayIt, which is actually based out of the UK, they may actually create a new display case specifically for the Back to the Future Part 2 car. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the assembly video. We'll set it all up, and I'll drop a link down in the description below on how you can purchase this. It was actually a pretty good deal, I think, and this is definitely one of the better solutions out there for the Hot Toys DeLorean. Alright, so here's the unboxing video. First things first, you want to make sure you open this up. Within 24 hours, you'll need to report any damage in shipping. So let's go ahead and open this up, make sure it's not damaged. The box doesn't appear to be damaged on the outside. Alright, so here we go. Regular bubble wrap. And there it is. So I ordered the black base for this one here. Some tape here. Let's go ahead and undo these. That way you can open up the internal packing here. Again, you're inspecting to make sure that nothing is broken here. Everything looks okay. So this thing looks very well packed. You're going to want to make sure that you pay attention to the corners for any potential damage. So everything looks good. I think we can go ahead and put this thing together and get the Hot Toys DeLorean in there. Alrighty, so we will go ahead and put some of this packing here. So here are the instructions in here. There you go. Pretty basic, right? So it looks like it comes with, it's either 16 or 20 screws. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so here are all the screws in here. Go ahead and get these off. Comes with a little Allen wrench there as well. You got the Allen wrench, you got 3 bags of screws and these little plastic inserts, these little fittings here. So it looks like you've got about 4 in this bag, 6 here, and about 6 more in this one as well. So let's go ahead and start putting this thing together. The instructions give you an idea of how you insert the screw fittings. So there are notches in these acrylic pieces here, the walls of the display case, that you need to insert these screw fittings into. Okay, so kind of just plug them right in. We'll go ahead and show a detail of how to do that real quick. So before we do that, we're going to need to remove the plastic film. So there is you'll notice there is a sort of a blue colored plastic film on each of these acrylic pieces right here. Okay. So this needs to be peeled off both sides before you insert the screw fittings. Now they recommend using a plastic card like a credit card to get the film off. So let's see how that works. I think that if you just start like right here, some of the stuff is all ready to go. So just peel the film off. It's pretty easy to do. So here we are peeling the film off. We'll go ahead and do that with both sides. This protective film here is here for a reason. You want to remove this before assembly. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll take the film off of all of this. I'm not going to show you what that looks like because it's pretty easy to do. And we'll get back to the assembly after we've got all this stuff peeled off. Once these are peeled, you want to make sure you place them on a surface. Isn't going to scratch them easily. We got the last piece, which is the top. Remove film off of this one. Alright, so the first step is to place the base on a flat surface. So we'll get this thing peeled and we'll clear out all the cardboard here. Okay, so here's the base, and there is a note here as well that says you have to remove the film on both sides before you assemble this. However, I'm going to actually try to just remove one side because one side is all that's going to be visible anyway. I'm going to leave the film on the other side, and the reason why I'm going to do that is so that in case the side that I'm using for the bottom ever gets scratched or something, I can easily flip it over and get a brand new surface going. So I'm going to leave the film on this side. We'll just remove the film on this side here. There it is, nice and shiny. It's got a very reflective finish, which is going to be pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start assembling the display case. One of the tips that they give you here is that larger acrylic panels over 60 centimeters commonly have a slight bow in one direction. So for the front and side panels, position the panel so the bow is outward, so it bows outwards in the middle. Okay, so let me show you what that means. Alright, so what they're talking about when they mean bow is they mean this direction here or that direction there. So these panels, when you hold them up by their ends here, by the sides, and let gravity kind of just pull the middle down, whichever one deflects the most, okay, whichever side deflects the most, that's the one that bows outward the most. Okay, this panel right here is not over 60 centimeters. It's just under, but you can kind of get an idea. I'm just holding it up right now, and this side right here, this orientation bows down the most versus this side here, it's a little flatter. That's what they mean. So another way to tell which direction the panels bow more in is if you lay it flat, and you can tell that one side is sticking up slightly. That's the side that bows the most, versus if you flip it over, it's not going to bow at all. It's going to be completely flat against the surface. So that's flat all the way around. So that's another way to tell. So these screw fittings here that they include, they're all the same. For some reason they had them separated into 3 different bags. I don't know why, but these are all identical. So they didn't differentiate between these right here. So these will work on all the different panels. So here's how you insert these screw fittings. What you want to do is insert it sideways, so there's a flat edge to these screw fittings right here. There's a round edge and a flat edge. So you want to insert it so that the flat edge is like that. And then what you do is you rotate the fitting so that it aligns with the edge of the panel, and that way it doesn't actually, it's not removable, so it stays in there. So you want to go ahead and do that to all the panels. So here's what the panel looks like with all of the screw fittings installed here. So just go ahead and do that for all the panels, and then we'll go ahead and assemble the case. So just so you know, The front and back panels, these longer panels here, do not have slots for the screw fittings. Only the two side panels and the top panel have that. So a total of 16 of those. So what you want to do, you just want to insert your side panel in the base like that, and then you're going to have to get your front panel going as well. So we'll go ahead and connect that. It's going to be kind of difficult, so you might want to use like a box or something to hold this up over here. I've got that just sort of leaning there on that box. We'll go ahead and insert the front. And really it just kind of fits into the slots at the base. Now remember, this is where whether or not you put it this way or the other way, you need to make sure that whichever direction it bows naturally in, like here's a good example, right? This one's bowing in quite a bit that way more than it does this way. So it bows out this side here. So the instructions say for the front and side panels, so they bow outward in the middle, which is going to be this way here. So this is the proper one. So it's bowing outward more in the middle. You can tell just if you wiggle it around. It's pretty easy to tell. So you just position it like so. And it just sort of sits in the little grooves at the bottom right here. Now what you want to do is screw in using the screws that they provided, as well as a little Allen wrench here. Screw these into the side. It's pretty easy. You just line the hole up here on the screw fitting with the hole here on the facing panel. We'll just go ahead and get that going. So here's a little close-up. So just go ahead and take your Allen wrench and then just go ahead and screw that in right there. It's pretty easy to do. So once you're done with this side, go ahead and repeat the process with the other two panels. Orient it like this, as it bows more outward. The other side. There we go. Go ahead and set that there. We'll go ahead and get the screws in on that side. So that side is finished. So this is looking pretty good so far. All we gotta do now is get this side up and the top, and we should be good to go. So we are fitting the final side to the case. We'll go ahead and screw in each of these. You can get the screws started by hand first if you want, whichever's easiest. In some cases you may need to reorientate the screw fittings in case they move around a little bit on you. So. There we go. Alright, so now we have the sides all finished, they're all wrapped up, and what we'll do next is we'll go ahead and get the top on here. There are some specific instructions for the top here. It does say that for the top panel, if the corner bows upward, flip the panel over. So we'll just go ahead and, just based on this, it feels like it deflects quite a bit that way. Kind of does actually both ways, so let's see what happens. So we'll just lay it on top right there. Kind of hard to tell. Let's see what happens when we flip it over. That's a lot better right there. So I think it's going to be this way. You could just tell. So you want it to bow downward. You don't want it to bow upward. Okay. Final part of the installation. We'll just go ahead and line this up. Now we've got to be careful because you don't want this thing falling inside. So what I'm tempted to do is support it with a box or something on the inside, something tall enough. So I just put a box in there, packing box. We'll go ahead and try to line this up as best we can. There's some notches here that you're going to need to line up. These top notches here along the side, these large notches here in the front and back, they all have to sort of connect with these side panels, kind of like a puzzle. And it should just fall into place. You also have to make sure that your screw fittings here are oriented, they're aligned with the sides here, the edges. There we go. That was pretty easy. This case is looking really awesome. So we're going to go ahead and finish off the installation by screwing in the top panel. So the idea is that this really just becomes sort of a overall like a cover, and you can remove it from the base. And it is not designed or intended to be sort of carried with the vehicle, the time machine inside of it. It's pretty sturdy, but it's definitely not. It was not intended to bear the weight of the time machine on the inside. You can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fit these screws in right here, and then I'll go around and tighten them up. So now we can go ahead and just go around here with the Allen wrench. Make sure you don't scratch the case on accident. Not too tight, you don't want to crack it. Now we're done. So that was the last one. So the case feels pretty sturdy. I think that's much better there. Yeah, perfect. Now it's actually like stable. Perfect. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and put the Hot Toys DeLorean inside here, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and unbox our Hot Toys DeLorean. So we're going to go ahead and put this last flux fan on in the front. Connect the wiring as well. Alright, so we'll kind of complete the unboxing here by applying the out of time license plate on the car. There we go. Okay, now that we have our time machine all set up, let's go ahead and get it inside the display case. Alrighty, so got our base set up, time machine on there. So when you fit this on here, there's some little slots here that you have to insert your top into. It's pretty easy to do. Make sure you line everything up. So it fits pretty good. Once you get everything in the slots, everything lined up. It actually looks really cool. So let's take a look at this thing. I like it a lot. And it looks like there's definitely going to be enough room for opening up the doors. So yeah, very cool. Let's go ahead and do that. So removing it is pretty straightforward. Just take it off. Gotta be very careful with it. You definitely don't want to damage the time machine. So go ahead and you open your doors. There you go. Go ahead and put the case back on top and see how that looks. Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I might just keep it like that. You gotta love it. This is definitely a cool case. This is absolutely awesome. I don't have to worry about it getting damaged or anything. It's pretty sturdy, cleans pretty easily. So I recommend using spray away glass cleaner on this. This stuff works really great. Actually, this works great on the DeLorean as well, your standard size DeLorean. So the question now, is this going to fit the Back to the Future Part 2 car? Right, so that's the hover mode car that is going to be coming out any month now. So that's a good question. So I'm going to say maybe. So we'll do a part 2 video just to get an idea if this is going to work for the time machine from Back to the Future Part 2 from Hot Toys. We'll do an unboxing video. Hopefully that will be coming out any month now, and we'll go ahead and see if this case will fit. Now, it definitely probably won't fit with the doors open and in hover mode, but that's not usually how the car is driven anyway in hover mode. So if I were to use this case for that, I know it comes with a stand. I think it comes with a short stand and maybe a taller stand, something like that. So that's kind of to be determined. But I think that if you had the short stand in here and with the doors closed, the Part 2 DeLorean time machine will work. So we'll get that. We'll see if this fits. Maybe they'll make a Part 2 car display case. So if not, then this might work for it. If I display it in this case, more than likely I'll keep the doors down or closed and see how that looks. Alright everybody, that's the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop a comment down below. And once again, thanks for watching.